You AFK for 10 minutes and you come back to life and death. I mean, hey, what else would you expect from our streams here? I feel like it's a fairly lucky day when we're not constantly finding ourselves in a state of near-death sheer panic. But hey, at least we got out of it in one piece, so that's always nice. Don't even know what was affecting us. I think it was just a Draconian that drank invisibility. I could be wrong. And of course, that's our 4th, maybe 5th gold dragon. No scales thus far. Running out of time to pick those up. Maybe we will just have to continue on with what we have at our disposal. Okay, no shifters means that I can be a little bit cheeky here and sneak these friends upstairs. Right, so it's probably a black Draconian that drank invisibility potion. Was a Draconian pack that we were up against, right? Definitely shows how much attention I'm playing here. Again, I think that plays into the whole idea that this run has been going fairly well, and that's dangerous. It's exceptionally scary because of what it does to my own mental state and the efficacy of us trying to play the game in general. I feel like I should be taking more sips of my drink than usual today, because we have exceptionally dry weather going on right now. Feel my lips just shredding throughout the day. Especially when dry weather is paired up with my own proclivity to constantly dehydrate myself. I feel like I don't drink nearly enough, especially not just straight water. I'm always drinking so much like coffee, pop, beer. Half the things, or over half the things on that list, which actively dehydrate rather than giving good hydration. So that's always a good sign for my own health. Continuing on. Let's see, scroll of acquirement here. Manual of air magic doesn't interest us too much. +2 cloak of poison resistance, I think is technically better than what we're wearing now. 1,000 gold pieces is actually a little bit tempting because we do have a caravan that we left behind. And we've been trying to save up some surplus of cash to take in that department. It's time to do the cloak and just hope if we get like a red cloak. Yellow would be okay, doesn't quite match with the gold, so I'm thinking red or purple cloak. Then we would have absolutely nothing to complain about in terms of fashion here. So let's do it. A little bit silly and unnecessary, but why the heck not? Might be exactly what we've been looking for here. Of course, it's the exact same color as the one we were just wearing. Why would I expect anything different? Which again is not the worst. Oh wow, ice magic. So we could have gone like air ice, hard late game pivot here. Interesting. I'm definitely going to run away around the corner. I don't want that Moth of Wrath enraging, especially the gold dragon. That's a bit sketchy for our continued survival. And maybe, just maybe, is this the one? Nope, doesn't look like it. That's not a multi-stack item on the floor there. Shucks. Playing the local installer, right? You can just edit your doll. Yes, we are, and we could, but where's the fun in that? You gotta deal with whatever the dungeon hands to you, and hey, sometimes that means you're not gonna look completely up to your finest, but every once in a while, we manage to hit the perfect storm of a run, much like today, where I can't say I'm too disappointed in our overall design here. But let us blast through here. We yet again have an invisible Draconian ready to wreak havoc and ruin my life. And in fact, it does seem to have started to do just that. Much scarier than I intended. Even with me saying it out loud, I still in the back of my brain was like, oh yeah, we'll be fine. It's easy. And turns out, not so much. Slightly more frightening than I was giving it credit for. But okay, we find the +7 plate armor. It's decent. +7 is nice. MP +9, not exactly a useful ego. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to be leaving that behind. If we do switch over to plate, I think I would much rather go up for the plate armor fire resistance that we left on a previous floor here. Enchant that up to max. Oh me, oh my. Gold dragon scales? Did I miss one? Maybe I just forgot. Gold dragon. Nope. Definitely not. And we are down to Zot 5 already here. We still have a little bit of time to work with. I'll clear out everything except for the lungs, and maybe, just maybe, that will put us in a good position moving forward. And then, of course, before we actually head into the final stage of the game here, we will head up to Snake 3, or wherever that interdimensional caravan was. And maybe, just maybe, that's where we'll find what we need to change our fate. Oh my gosh, it was like the final opportunity, this tiny hallway that I expected to be empty and have nobody involved in. We've done it. And they said it couldn't be done. Gold dragon scales, how I appreciate you. Okie dokie. So that means we can head up. We also are completely set now to next head off into Zot. So it's gonna be an interesting experience to say the least. And let us do a quick check. Was it Snake 3? It was Snake 3. Let us go to Snake Pit 3, shall we? Maybe the caravan has some for 100 gold. That's true. It'd be just fitting if the caravan had like the scales of the Dragon King or something like that, completely ruining all the effort that we just put in here. But I wouldn't mind. I'd honestly still be pretty happy about it at the end of the day. Let's drop all of our throwables. That's a nice easy thing to just quickly clear out. And let's take a peek at what we have at our disposal. That's a lot of blink scrolls. Okay, almost definitely going to be buying these. There is also an enchant armor here, which we don't need. But if there's nothing else to spend our money on, then I might do it out of sheer laziness, right? Ooh, and that's an interesting little setup here. Luckily, we did keep around a ring of flying for just such an occasion, and we can cross the gap here. Potion of resistance, I actually wouldn't mind picking up an extra one of. As soon as we have a huge array of elements against us, we may want to just top up across the board. That's always nice. Otherwise, not too much interesting there. Heal wounds, we'll take that, and resistance, we'll definitely grab that as well. And so, we head back, we pick up these blinking scrolls. It doesn't look like we have too much else to buy here, so I will, in fact, be picking up an enchant armor. That gold dragon scales, it'll get there eventually. But let's quickly do a find for gold. Make sure I didn't miss anything in my initial foray through the stalls here. Extra potion of mutation actually might be a prudent buy. Save ourselves some problem in the future. In fact, let's head there. Might as well. We do have a large surplus at our disposal already, but hey, it doesn't hurt. And then we will do a quick find enchant A, and that should bring up all the armor. As long as we go through this in order, it will take us from nearest to furthest. Makes things nice and easy here. Go, go, go. And I think there were 2 here. Beautiful, there were. Now the rest, or a large chunk of the remaining ones, are for sale, but we did keep around some money. I guess I haven't checked my shopping list. For all I know, there are exceptionally valuable materials that I've just forgotten to resupply. Not so much. Build it yourself armor services. The only way you can get trusted armor at a reasonable price. At Matt Demon's Build It Yourself workshop. Right, and let's go back to searching. Brain just immediately froze up and forgot what it is we're even doing here. Perfect. This should still be going on to F here. And we just continue slowly but surely working our way through all this stuff, making sure we take those final steps of preparation before we head off the deep end. Because who knows what the future has in store for us. So just 2 more and we'll be sitting pretty. So let's just head to depth, shall we? And use up the last of these at our disposal. We could actually, I guess, have used that final one on our shield. But we're looking pretty solid across the board here. So we max out those gold dragon scales, and now if we take a quick peek, AC increases by 13 up to 41. That's pretty fantastic. Encumbrance rating also is effectively a 9 for us, thanks to our sturdy bones. So that seems pretty sweet. We will lose 1 pip of fire resistance, and we'll lose evocable blink. Otherwise, largely a positive for sure here. And besides, purple and gold definitely go nicely together. It maybe does a slightly worse job of tying in our entire outfit, our shield mixed with that scale mail, was this? The chain mail. Definitely had something going for it, but hey, gold always in fashion here, even if it's not the most ideal matchup. And okie dokie. Oops. Hitting. What am I trying to do in my head here? Oh, okay. For a second there, my brain went completely blank on Shift X. This is all I was trying to do the entire time, is I just rolled through like Shift E, Control E, Shift V, Control V. Silly me. It's weird, after so much time playing, I can still make the same silly mistakes. Okie dokie, let's start this, friends. Let's dance, you and I. A bit of an indication that this may be a bit of a struggle moving forward here, just how painful even this fight was. Generally, the Orb Guardians rather, are amongst the easier enemies that you'll fight in the Lungs of Zot. It's going to be a bit of a hard-fought victory, especially with any Ancient Liches with Paralyzed, right? We die by 1 health because we didn't enchant the shield. Hey, then it's deserved, right? And I'll learn something for the future. Never forget to enchant with that final single piece. And that's what losing is all about. It's about teaching ourselves lessons for the future. What's our dodge at? So our evasion is at 7. Our dodge, absolute goose egg here, because that is one of the sacrifices we made to appease our Lord and Savior, the great pair of scales in the sky, the deity of creation itself, Rue. But okay, Ancient Lich time. This is exactly the situation we were just pontificating upon in our head. So I'll switch over to my lightning rod here, try and get some early damage before they have any actual sight on us. We're even just gonna try and poke in and around the tentacled monstrosity, see if that works out. Dodge, what's that? We gave it up for Lent. Exactly. And sure, it might be scary. Oh, let's not stab ourselves, I agree. That seems silly. Something tried to affect us, so even with our single pip of willpower, we managed to protect that, and we reflect their crystal sphere back at them. You love to see it. Okay, so much better start than we deserve, most likely. And there we go. Now we get paralyzed. Let's even do a quick check. Oh, dang it, they went invisible. I was trying to think of who actually... Did we get paralyzed by Killer Clown Pie? Or does the Lich buddy that we're facing off against now have that ability? Because that is potentially important information for the future. Killer Clown Pies are, of course, the be-all end-all of chaotic energy here. No idea what kind of effects we'll see out of that. Been turned into a bat before, which was absolutely brutal. Okay. I expected you to try and malmutate me. I was actually gonna just pop out here. There we go. Now we get mutated once with Frail, so we lose a little bit of our health here, which is not fantastic, but it may be time to turn and face our fears here. What can I do against an Orb of Fire? We have good fire resistance maxed out there, so that's pretty fantastic. We could try something like Box of Beasts. The fireballs become exceptionally powerful for taking out any friends that we're trying to bring along on the journey here, but that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to fail. I don't think that balls of fire are affected by silence, just anti-magic. Yeah, because they are innate abilities, not spells. And they are one of the few creatures that are immune to electricity. So yeah, I think we'll use a mix of acid, like Shaper mentioned in chat, but on top of that, we also do have silver weaponry, so we can definitely eke that to our advantage. The question just gets back to, do I want a box of beasts or anything? Let's start with the acid, and then we'll switch over to our, go through the whole list here. Get off of all the thing. Oh, I never picked up my throwing implements. Oh, that's why. I was wondering why we were set on our abilities. So this is going to be an interesting fight. We're definitely not showing up at our best here. Silly old me. Left those all the way back on Snake 3. That'll teach me to try and be proactive about clearing inventory space. But okay, and then I think Box of Beasts will be that there next. And start to poke past our friend. Okay, they didn't really manage to do a whole lot, so maybe we'll resort to acid. Switch back to this, at least trying to get the Crowd effect. Fantastic. Jeez Louise. Yeah, having the immunity to our electricity is definitely proven to be a little bit tough to punch through here. This is like those old dreams of ending up in school with no pants. Yep. No pants. We're also in a weird mix between that type of nightmare and also the type where you're trying to like fight back against the monsters, and for whatever reason you just get like no force into your punches. Nothing's working out the way that you expect it to. Just an amalgamation of all the most nightmare scenarios that we conjure in our own heads. But we'll finish them off quickly with some acid bolts, and then let's go for one last trip here. You know what, Snake, it was so lovely the first visit, the second visit, why not go one more time? You know, sun ourselves up. I hear the spas there are fantastic, and hopefully picking up some of this material will help out a great deal in our future. We're lucky that we didn't run across like an onslaught of summons, because that's where those javelins really start to show off their abilities here. You hear the sunsets are beautiful in the pits this time of year? Exactly. No, why not? Another excuse to visit? It's almost like I made that mistake on purpose. Oops, I guess we have to go back. But okie dokie. Now, let's get back in the saddle, shall we? We'll even block off this entrance so that we can use auto explore a little more judiciously. Would you look at that? What a time to go back and change for our silver weaponry here, eh? What a time to be alive. And also we decided not to use a lot of our mutation potions quite yet. I thought about it for a split second there just to get rid of Frail, because I don't like being at a deficit of health right now. But who knows how malmutated we'll be by the end of this encounter. So let's just try and use silver javelins to do some damage here. They're definitely... Okay, there we go. They weren't doing nearly as much damage as I was expecting in my head. With throwing skill of just under 18, you'd think there'd be a little bit more power behind these punches, but turns out we were just missing a lot, which makes sense. There's no way we make this shot, not with one eye. And so close. I wonder, silver boomerangs or regular javelins? You're about to 1v1 an Orb of Fire. What do you take with you to the deserted island? I think it's a bit of an open question. I'm not sure how to answer that one. But okie dokie. Managed to get through that. 3 Orbs of Fire. Definitely not exactly nothing here. They accidentally mutate themselves because of Uru's intervention there. Because they definitely, I feel like they did the malmutation purple energy animation there. Interesting. Well, we will, dang it, take our friends on a little bit of a hike here. Beautiful. We just wanted to find ourselves in a slightly more defensible position. Is Box of Beasts back up? It is. Fantastic. And then we can just throw on some silver boomerangs while our friend gets in some auxiliary hits on the side here. Maybe this time we can take out the Orb of Fire in a half-decent setup? No, guess not. Wistful thinking, maybe. Again, one eye makes distance perception kind of hard. Or Fire, you called for a fourth. You rang. Should know better than to even mention Orb of Fire numbers here. Just asking to be set up with an absolute array. Maybe the greatest magnitude of Orb of Fire placement that we've ever seen in this life or any other. But we will block off this exit as well so that we're a bit more controlled. I mean, turns out I wasn't exactly kidding. Do you paralyze? You do. 81% chance to be effective, and there's an Orb of Fire this time. Now, that's a big oof. I am frightened, to say the least. We have a decent number of scrolls of summoning. The unfortunate part about that is that I believe you have abjuration, right? Yeah, what kind of summoner would you be if you didn't have abjuration? So I believe this does, yeah, reduces the remaining duration of any hostile summoned creatures. Not great. You press dot to throw, if then, or F then dot, the javelin land on the square. No, yeah, we were definitely making effective use of that in the Wiz lab that we visited earlier, trying not to lose any javelins in the deep water. I guess it's even just a good idea in general, so that picking up our javelins is a little bit of a expedited process, so that is something to potentially keep in mind. I also didn't realize that we got misshapen body, so we are missing out on some armor class right now. It's just about getting to that time where we may want to start chugging back these mutation potions. And we'll also definitely hydrate, thanks for redemption, trying to keep me alive here or something. Are you bad? Do you like it? Or you like to do it so you don't have to go so far to grab anyway? Yeah, no, and not your bad whatsoever. In fact, any helpful advice, especially tips and tricks like that, greatly appreciated, because hey, if we weren't aware of it, we would have learned something new. And I've definitely learned a huge amount, a sheer amount of controls, thanks to chat helping me out. So I will use the summoning scroll to bring in some friends here. Hopefully they don't get abjured too quickly. Ooh, and that torment effect is pretty rough right now. Not when we're fighting an Orb of Fire, please. Sir, think about the children. I have a family back home in my Demonspawn village. So we drew out power there. Maybe a bit of a misplay. Should have at least thought about saving our exhausted status effect for something like Apocalypse to take care of the problems at hand. But hey, as I've said multiple times, we've made our bed and now we must deal with it. Also, I never switched out of my flight ring. Turns out that last minute trip to the caravan caused a whole lot of problems for me moving forward. Maybe not my smartest move. So let's drink haste here. Try and improve our odds of making it through this. More torment hitting at an inopportune moment. Oof. Drink one heal wounds real quick. And now I am very much regretting the lack of apocalyptic energy in our life right now. We could just retreat from this fight, which might be the smart thing to do. Alternatively, we could double down. So I think blinking out and just retreating, come back another time. We are hasted right now, so we have a slightly better chance of actually making our escape, even with this fast as all get up Orb of Fire hot on our trail. Alternatively, we're feeling real risky today. We could chug a lignification, and that would protect us against any further torments, which I guess are actually coming from this son of a gun, the Ice Fiend. If we get paralyzed right now, we are dead, so that might be an important piece of information to bring into our mental calculus here. But we do keep pace with the Orb of Fire, so I think I will just run away. Take advantage of one of the greatest techniques known to DCSS players around the world. Just run away. live to fight another day. And, in fact, if we're lucky here, we've now isolated the Orb of Fire, and we should be able to simplify the fight a bit. Please just corrode the son of a gun. Okay, fine. We'll just use the auto throw here. Again, this might have been a good time to take advantage of what Acid Ground was just talking about a minute ago, and making sure we don't have to walk quite as far to collect all of our throwables. We're also getting mutated to heck as we try and finish this fight. Maybe not fantastic. Should I switch over to tab? Yeah, even with the immunity to electricity, I feel like that did actually go better than the silver boomerangs, so maybe silver boomerangs not something high on our list of go-tos here. Good thing we didn't chug all those mutation potions. Yeah, just look, we were saving it up for just such an occasion. What better time than now? I will drink a few at the very least. In fact, before we do so, let's take a peek. I'm hoping to get rid of Frail, get rid of Misshapen Body, and definitely get rid of Teleportitis, because I don't want to be pulled against my will into a frightening situation. We'll also, before I forget again, replace our Ring of Flying with an actual useful ring that does something in the current situation. That seems like a smart, a prudent maneuver for the future. Connection to magic feels subdued. Not exactly what we were looking for. We did get rid of Misshapen Body, so that's something. We feel stronger, we feel agile, we lose the ability to read scrolls when threatened. We also regain our deformity, and we get some horns. Well, that was a very potent potion, to say the least. I don't know how this roulette is going to continue on, but I'll drink one more. Why the heck not? We can read scrolls again. That's good. Magic is normal. We feel robust. That's solid. Thoughts seem clearer, I think is clarity? Did we really get clarity here? Exceptional clarity of mind. Huh. That's actually useful with our lack of willpower. Though, again, maybe not quite so much, because we could just draw out power from Rue in order to get rid of a lot of the effects that clarity protects us against. But now we're left with just Teleportitis and Misshapen Body. But I kind of like what we have at our disposal in general. Teleportitis has the potential to ruin my life, but we also have a lot of consumables. We've been fortunate enough to save up a little bit of a good mix of those throughout the last part of the game here. So, even if we do get teleported, not the end of the world, and we should be a-okay. Let's try it out. And you son of a gun, immediately get Silver Boomerang treatment. That does absolutely nothing for us. That's scary. But hey, if you want to paralyze us when it's just you in the picture, now that I don't mind. Teleportitis could also give us a sweet spot to ninja the orb. Hey, I like that kind of positive thinking. That's the kind of attitude we're looking for here. Okay. Moth of Wrath shouldn't be too bad. I don't mind going berserk. I don't exactly love the idea, but wouldn't be the end of the world. Also, let's throw this here just to make sure that it's not going too far. Maybe we will use a couple charges of acid. There we go. Get the corrosion effect at the very least. Now let's see how many mutations we have after this fight. It's definitely not our best run in terms of sheer ability to deal with Orbs of Fire. It's nice having a caster that can just blast a couple times in that department. That's fine. You have Petrify, but not Paralysis. Petrify I can actually deal with. That's another one that Rue manages to counter fairly well, so that's nice. If you go Invisible, I'm not exactly happy, but it's at least a moderately possible thing to work with. Is the most clumsy way I could possibly have worded that, but hopefully didn't completely butcher the message I was trying to get across, at the very least. But there we go, we managed to clear through the thick of the lungs, which usually means we are just at the mercy of the Orb Guardians themselves for the last little chamber here. I did think we potentially caused enough commotion there to pull some forces through, but apparently not. So many orbs of fire. Yeah, definitely not my ideal cup of tea, but hey, I did curse ourselves with my own actions and words, so what can you expect? Sounds about right. And let us start making the final steps here. It's getting real close, which of course does mean that this is where we're liable to see the worst of what the game has to throw at us. Also getting one of our final mutations there. We still carrying ID scrolls. Yeah, we managed to ignore them for the longest time, and then towards the end, definitely got lazy. And just as we prophesized and predicted, when clearing out my inventory, completely forgot of that as an option and just left them hanging around. So, hey, we'd never change for no man, right? This is just how the brain works, and if you can't deal with me at my worst, then that's fair. I honestly agree with you in most regards, so. But okie dokie, we managed to clear our way to the orb. We could clear out the second section of the lungs here, the second half as it were. But I don't really want to, is what it comes down to in the end. I thought we had 41 AC, what happened? Unfortunately, we have a bit of a misshapen torso, as it were, which, I mean, is what it is. Definitely something that we were trying to get rid of, but managed to get rid of it, and just in time to bring it back with our final chug that gave us all this good stuff. So now we're just dealing with what we have. I mean, hey, we've been dealing with less AC for the entirety of the game. Why change now? It just seems fitting. It's right in the end. But okie dokie, we could potentially try and get a little fancy here before the end. Either, like we mentioned, clearing out the second half of Zot, we could go through some different floors, but honestly, I think we're sitting pretty here. We have a decent number of digging charges on our wand. We have a lot of haste potions, at least relative to what we can normally expect. And in general, decent number of consumables across the board. We can even blink out of any of the worst situations, so I think we're just ready to go for our orb run, nice and early in the stream today. I'm surprised I haven't already in the first hour managed to kill off our character, because at the back of my mind, that was definitely what I expected going into the stream this evening. Let's read a teleportation scroll. I'm gonna wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns. I used to know the exact number of turns you wait here. I think it is like 7, but ever since I had a statue form run, I think, where time progressed different than I expected and messed me up and made me teleport in the middle of a horde of enemies and cascading chaos coming down from that, I definitely try and err on the side of caution. I think it's, yeah, 8 to 12. Yeah, so that's why I say 7, is because you want to make sure it's popping after. But that definitely makes sense. You can have some extra turns sometimes. And would you look at that, even this side of the lungs was filled with orbs of fire. What fun. What an adventure. Fortunately, don't necessarily have to take care of these ones. We just have to survive a few more turns, and we'll be coming up roses and getting the heck out of here. So I'm just gonna chug some curing, maybe draw out power once just to bring ourselves up to the top here, top ourselves off, and then get me out of here. There we go. That was a much more manageable teleportation location. Ooh, and we get our first Panlord. Are you someone I'm interested in fighting? Bolt of Fire? I mean, that we have decent workarounds for. High Evasion, I don't love. But Force Lance, Bolt of Fire, Blink Range, Abjuration, Summon Grinder, Demon. I think you're manageable. So for anybody who's not aware, I try my very best to, if possible, kill at least one Panlord on our way up. We don't want them getting too big for their britches. We want to make sure we set these Panlords in their place, know who they're dealing with. You don't come and try and stop me from taking the orb out of this said dungeon here. So, can box a beast, likely to be abjured, but until then, definitely helps out. I also maybe should check your resistances. Electricity immune. They thought that was gonna be enough. They built you in a factory specifically to take me down, did they? Little did they know. You just haste up and book it? I definitely can respect that as the intelligent move, arguably the correct move to make, but unfortunately for the majority of our characters, I'm not always looking at what is most intelligent or proper decision-wise. Sometimes we want to get a little weird with it. And hey, we managed to kill our one Panlord. Check that off the bucket list. I mean, at the end of the day, Matt Demon, when they were thinking about heading to the Dungeon, that's a bit of a phrase there. When they were thinking about heading into the dungeon, you know, packing their bags, making all of their last-minute stops and preparation, they definitely thought fondly on the process, or on the promise that they may be able to fight a Lord of Pan one day, and who would we be to turn down that dream, to not fulfill that to the best of our abilities, maybe even twice here. I think I will fight you too, Ahiden. Can sting, painful, is not great, we don't have a lot of negativity resistance, but just having Harpoon Shot for your casting, and you're not resistant to our main source of damage. It's bad how much this game tempts me into making suboptimal decisions. It couldn't possibly be my fault, it's definitely on the game. But hey, this time we're going to use Apocalypse. Make sure to take advantage of all the tools on our belt here. And... are you fast? You are very fast. Oh geez, okay, that's good to know. As we discussed, you're not immune to electricity though, so get absolutely demolished. Less than I thought, honestly. In fact, this is about the time where we should probably be thinking about our decisions in life a bit more. You have Harpoon Shot. If I die here, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to each and every one of you watching for wasting your time. You can drain life, that's not that scary. I think this is where we just start blinking. If we go here, Harpoon Shot, not as big of a deal. Can't go through allies, I believe. Also, can't quite kill us at this point. Ice Fiend with Symbol of Torment, I'm slightly concerned for sure. But let's even do a little bit of an inventory. We are hasted. We can blink here, potentially even chain blinks. We'd have to come around this corner and up to that stair. Alternatively, we book it for down here. So this is definitely one of those classic reminders. Do as I say, not as I do, because sometimes I just might get myself killed. In fact, I don't even want to deal with you. Fortunately, we're hasted. In fact, oh my gosh, Orb Guardian, you saved my life, you don't even know it. Blocking the Harpoon Shot potential from even being a possibility, I'll love you for it, buddy. So okay, maybe I got a little bit too cocky, the classic overconfidence, maybe even some degree of overconfidence going on there. But hey, managed to survive, still have an opportunity to get out of here. What the heck do you even do? You blink close, trample, high AC. Honestly, not unmanageable, but I will leave you for the time being, and let's just head to a different stairwell, shall we? I think we do have to fight you, and all of a sudden things start to cascade into a bit of an untenable situation here. Not my best look. We're okay for the time being, for the moment, I should say, maybe to make sure to keep that level of doubt in our mind here. We must have dropped that resist Keeper's gear somewhere. I think, yeah, I probably dropped it right as we entered the dungeon last week, if we're being honest with ourselves. In fact, kind of had to. I'm actually allergic to it, is the thing. Also, I tried to just automatically go to... I tried to automatically follow our last go command, and I thought it was taking us up to D1, but of course, it was not, so... Ready to fall victim to our own mistakes and stupidity. Fantastic start here. I just continually impress myself with how many mistakes is it even possible for one human being to make. Answer may actually surprise you. But that's fine. Memento Mori, Caesar. Oh me, oh my. Oops, go D0. Please and thank you. Not even resting to heal up, which may be to our detriment in the future. I was hoping to take advantage of our lead here. Make haste, not waste. In fact, let's just drink a potion and goodbye, my sickly poison friend. I'm not interested in what you are selling. No, thank you, sir. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of damnation potential. Never loved the combination of torment and damnation as well. Not a great look. You are definitely a manageable opponent though. So if they tormented us, then got a max roll damnation, we would be dead. Barring that, it's going to take a couple turns. We do have at least a turn of reactivity. So I think we'll take advantage of their susceptibility to cold to just blast you. And one last time, we blast you. Now, I mean, I said it out loud just a minute ago, but now we're quite literally one max roll. Has to be absolute tip top of the line. Max roll damnation away from dead. Gotta cough, heal, and get out of this. I'm actually gonna drain out power here, or pull out power, whatever it's called. Save those heals. And then you we should be able to take. A red devil. I mean, the unfortunate part of it about it is if they manage to distract us just long enough to cause some issues in the future, but does not seem to be the case in the end. So we're going to continue just limping along here in a constant state of panic and struggle. What else would you possibly expect? I mean, we are leaving with the orb. Okay. So, you cannot kill us in one turn. We could step to the stairs, as long as you survive that one turn, and these aren't more damnation flingers, we're okay. Alternatively, if those are damnation flingers, I guess we are just dead, so that's not great, eh? So alternatively, we could Apocalypse, we could Chain Blink out of here. I almost clicked by accident. That would have been, I mean, it would have made our decision-making process a lot easier, so that's nice. Would have figured out once and for all if that was the right move to take a step in that direction, but maybe we'll stick to the let's nod and say we did. That classic gem from back in the day. That mid-2000s killer one-liner to throw at your enemies. And there we go. Almost. Get out of my head. This has definitely been one of the more interesting, shall we say, orb runs that I've experienced as of late. I feel like most of my orb runs have been pretty straightforward and kind of mindless. So hey, there's a bit of a silver lining at the end of the day. Sometimes it's nice to get a reminder of what the game has the potential to throw at you. You know what? Let's dance, you and I. Bring in a friend of my own. Fantastic. In fact, let's step away from the Demonspawn. Summon in some more things. Oh, Scroll of Summoning, right, is kind of trash right now. Kind of forgot about that. Scales off of the floor that you're on. And D4, I gotta say, generally doesn't spawn monsters that are effective at battling demons from the lower planes, but worth a shot. Always worth a shot. Green Death, no thank you. What do we say to the Lord of Green Death? Not today. And we're on the home stretch. You know what? I'm quaffing haste. No more hubris here. Managed to recover that gear that we did drop right on D1, as mentioned before. Turns out I was wrong, and I take a wrong turn in the final moments of the run here. Brilliant move on my part. Absolute genius over here. Now we just stand here taunting our enemies, making sure they understand who's on the top of the doggy pile here. And there we go. Despite both the game's and my own efforts to get ourselves killed in some stupid manner, we managed to make it out here on our second attempt with Demonspawn. I was very much concerned about this run. Having that That weak will, oof, big oof. We could still be teleported next to monsters, so I guess we're not out of here yet. Especially considering the fact that we've made it a little bit more of a tradition of sorts to prep ourselves for re-entering into society in the outside world. We want to put on our best face, best foot forward, make sure we're making a bit of an impression. When we roll up at the entrance of the dungeon, Orb of Zot in hand, we want to make sure people can see what we've been through here. So we'll start with a potion of haste to speed up everything. I'm going to drink some mutation because no need for my family to see me like this. This is a bit of a nightmare. Maybe get rid of our frailty so we can still lift our grandchildren up above our head. That sounds like a nice idea as we head home here. Okay, we didn't lose our misshapen body, so now our partner won't be surprised when they see us. So there's that. Hey, Railbird, looks like you got here just in time to see us win. Oh, it was very close to not being the case, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. You were almost here just in time to watch us start a brand new attempt and a brand new run, based on how the orb run itself went. But holy cow, we're getting some wild mutations here at the end. I mean, I was doing this mostly as a silly joke, but look at all this, like, RC, 2 pips of resistance to fire. We lost our clarity, unfortunately, so maybe that's a potential negative, but that's fine. You know what, frailty we'll just offset with some might. That way we can still, you know, lift our children up, even though they've probably gone a bit older since we entered the dungeon. Don't know how time works, especially with arbitrary units of time as the standard in this game. But you gotta imagine it's been a while here in the deep. And so with that in mind, let's last but not least. Oh, we have no brilliance. Dang it, I wanted to wow all of my family with whimsical stories and be at the top of my game mentally, but hey, it is what it is. And let's stop wasting too much time here, stop fiddling our thumbs, and we'll just step out of the dungeon here, feeling happy, feeling successful, and honestly a little bit surprised. As we mentioned multiple times over the course of just this evening alone, I expected that lack of willpower to be our downfall. Turns out hubris did a lot better of a job, honestly, than the more obvious answer there. But hey, one of the rare games where we don't get up to max level on our way out. I don't even know, I wasn't paying close enough attention to recognize if we actually got our final Demonspawn mutation. It's a bit randomized which levels they'll hit on. By 27, you're guaranteed to have all of them maxed out. We might have been one short. Interesting. If you go by decomposition rate, resting to full makes a corpse into a skeleton, so like 3 months. Hey, that's a great point. So holy moly, I mean, it says, say right here, 97,515 turns. A full rest is 100 turns. And that's like, you know, at max. Huh. So 3 months per 100? We've been down in this dungeon for an unreasonable, more than a lifetime. Not great. Not exactly. Unfortunately, most of our family's probably gone and passed us by. Maybe Demonspawn live longer, one of the few species where it's actually accurate. It's the important questions that we need to ask ourselves. Make sure we're getting to the bottom, working through the deep lore on the back end of the game here. Important questions like, how long do Demonspawn live? What happens when a Hydra gets concussed? You know, all of these deep-cutting, hard journalism, things that we need to know the answer to. Maybe one day we'll discover the truth. But as is, we'll just happily take that win nice and early in the evening here, feeling fantastic, feeling light, top of the world. Do love to see that. What is the lifespan of a Demonspawn? It's a curious thing. Scientists still don't know to this day. Maybe one day the mysteries of the universe will unravel themselves.